A malfunction in the time machine has flung you backwards, far beyond human memory. You find yourself stranded in the Cambrian, on fragmented patches of barren land surrounded by restless seas. The first thing you notice is the silence. It isn't the absence of sound, but its opposite. A weight pressing against your ears, as though the world itself is holding its breath. The land beneath your feet is raw and unfinished, a patchwork of cracked stone glistening with thin films of algae. Around you, water pulses and churns, licking at the edges of this brittle island like an animal circling its prey. You look out at the sea and see shapes. Not fish, not anything familiar, but shifting outlines that twist and coil with a mechanical patience. They do not rise to breathe. They do not break the surface. They circle, and then you feel it, the vulnerability of being seen without seeing. The sun, faint through a haze of drifting clouds, stretches your shadow across the stone. For a moment it lies beside you, elongated, fragile. Then the shadow shifts, flickering, broken by ripples in the water. Something down there has noticed. A sudden swirl. Water erupts against rock. The creature does not emerge fully, but you glimpse it. Flattened body, armored plates glinting, and jaws not at the front but at the sides. Hinged scythes that snap in silence, almost too fast to follow. It retreats, sliding back beneath the veil of water as if it had never been. You stand very still. The silence breaks, not with noise but with awareness. Every ripple, every disturbance at the shore becomes a whisper of threat. The land feels too small, too temporary. The ocean presses closer with each heartbeat. You try to breathe. The air is thin, incomplete, tasting faintly of stone and salt. It does not comfort you. You look to the sky. The sun is your only anchor, your only guide. Already you feel the pull of a rule not yet spoken, the shape of survival pressing itself into your mind. Your shadow must always be behind you. The sun must be your compass, or the jaws will come from the angles you cannot see. And so you wait, watching the water, listening to the silence, knowing that nothing in this place has reason to spare you. The land you cling to is not land in any true sense. It is a crust, temporary, fragile. A slab of stone pressed upward from the seabed, fringed with slick mats of green that breathe in silence. Your feet leave damp prints, quickly swallowed by moisture. Beyond the shore, the ocean stretches outward in all directions, an endless expanse of flickering light and unmarked hunger. The air itself is an enemy. It tastes unfinished, shallow, a thin veil draped over the planet rather than something you can trust your lungs with. Each breath is shallow, an imitation of air, a compromise between suffocation and survival. Your chest aches after every inhalation, as though the world resents your attempt to live. The silence you first noticed persists. There are no birds, no insects, no chorus of life to hide within. The stillness is complete, broken only by the whisper of water grinding against rock. You are alone, and yet you are not. The ocean moves with purpose. Shapes flicker beneath the surface, their presence revealed only by distortions of light, darting, circling, weaving. The predators here do not stalk from above or behind. They do not announce themselves with speed across open ground. They come from below, from the borders of vision, from impossible angles where your mind has no training to defend you. They belong to a world in which the front is not sacred, the face not the focus. They are side hunters, flank biters, wielding jaws that open where you cannot expect. You crouch low, pressing your palm against the stone. It is warm where the sun strikes, but cold where water laps. Every ripple carries weight. You lean closer, listening, and hear nothing. And yet the silence grows heavier, as though the ocean has shifted closer without moving. The sun arcs faintly above you, still wrapped in its haze. It is weak but steady, a pale disk that carves your body into a dark blade across the ground. Already you understand. The shadow is your shield, your only reliable instrument in this world where angles betray you. To lose its position is to open your side to the waiting jaws. You test the space. Step forward. The shadow stretches long and thin, pointing into the water. Step backward. It folds beneath you, swallowed by your stance. You shift again sideways and the shadow swings out of reach of your sight. The vulnerability is immediate, physical, unbearable. Instinct tells you that something is waiting for that slip. At the water's edge, a ripple breaks. A shape rises just beneath the surface. Flat, wide, armored, its body undulating like cloth in a current. The jaws flare open at the sides, two gates without hinges, and close again with such speed the sound does not even register. The creature lingers for a moment, then dissolves into the depths. The land is small, the sea is vast, the predators are patient, and the sun, your only ally, is already drifting toward decline. You realize then that this world is not merely hostile, it is designed without you in mind. The stone beneath your feet is temporary, the air unfinished, the silence unbearable, the water infinite. You are here only by accident, and the ocean will not forgive you for it. You understand now. Survival here is not strength, not speed, but precision. To remain alive, you must obey the geometry of light, the angles of your own body, the narrow corridor between you and the waiting ocean. Rules emerge in your mind, not as wisdom but as necessity pressed into your nerves. Break them and the side jaws will take you. Rule 1. Keep your shadow behind you. The sun must always anchor you, your body aligned so the darkness it casts falls along your spine. If the shadow slides to your left or right, you open a gap, a blind angle, and from there the jaws strike. You test this by turning slightly. The shadow drifts across the stone. At once, a ripple forms at the water's edge, as though the sea had been waiting for the invitation. You correct yourself, realigning, and the ripple dissolves. The ocean is watching. Rule 2. Never stand too close to the water. The stone shelf ends abruptly in shallow lapping waves, but those waves are teeth disguised. If your foot crosses too near, if your weight leans into the edge, the side jaws will not need to lunge far. The water stirs as you glance down, the faintest outline of a flat body brushing the surface. A warning. You step back, and the world exhales without sound. Rule 3. Do not cast a broken shadow. When your form is divided, when cracks in the stone fracture your silhouette, or the uneven ground splinters it, the predators test the gaps. The shadow is your shield only when whole. You crouch near a fissure, your outline split across the rock. Almost instantly, a disturbance appears, a streak of movement beneath the surface. You scramble back to flat ground, forcing the shadow to unify, and the sea quiets again. Rule 4. Keep moving with the sun. The light is not still. It drifts, arcs, and twists your body's projection. To stand fixed is to lose alignment. Already, you notice the shadow shortening, sliding off its anchor. You must walk with it, circling, adjusting, like prey that never rests. If you remain careless for even a moment, the jaws will find the gap and close before you can turn. Rule 5. Never let the sea out of sight. The predators do not rush blindly. They wait for inattention, for the flicker of your gaze elsewhere. You force yourself to stare, eyes burning from the shimmer of reflected light. The moment you blink too long, you know something will rise. You test this just once, closing your eyes for a heartbeat. When they open, a ripple has already spread in the water, wider this time, closer. You keep your eyes locked forward until they sting. Each rule feels less like advice and more like a chain. You are bound to them, enslaved by the geometry of survival. To disobey is not punishment but erasure, sudden and without trace. The world will not remember your body, will not leave bones. You will vanish into the waiting mouths at the angles you cannot see. The sun slides lower. Your movements quicken, circling, realigning, repeating. The land grows smaller with every step. The ocean grows hungrier with every glance. And the rules tighten around you like the jaws you fear. The sun tilts. You have been circling with it, correcting, watching, adjusting, each step bound by the shadow's command. The rules keep you alive, but they also strip you of choice. You are a pendulum swung by the light, orbiting like a prisoner tethered to a fading star. But the light is changing. Clouds drift across the sky, pale and veined like thin skin. Their edges smear the sunlight, bending its shape, diffusing the once clear blade of shadow. Your body dissolves into multiple outlines, faint and broken. You scramble to find alignment, turning, crouching, shifting on the rock. But no position is correct. The shadow is no longer a shield. It is a blur. The water answers immediately. A ripple, sharper than before, knifes across the surface. Then another, closer, circling. The sea has been waiting for this weakness, patient and tireless. Your chest tightens with shallow air, each breath a reminder that the sky is unfinished, unsuited for lungs like yours. You try to move with the sun, but the sun itself is gone, swallowed by haze. The horizon bleeds into itself. Light, water, sky, all merging. The compass collapses. The rules fracture. For a moment, you think you can invent a new pattern, a substitute. Perhaps the alignment of your arms, the angle of your stance, the careful rhythm of your steps. But instinct laughs at invention. The predators do not adapt to you. You adapt to them. And they have chosen their moment. The ocean stirs. A flat, armored form presses just below the surface, tracking your motion without urgency. It slides with you as you backpedal, always at your side, never directly ahead. Another ripple joins it from the opposite flank. They do not rush, for there is no need. They know angles better than you ever could. Your body betrays you, legs trembling from constant circling, lungs seared by thin air, eyes burning from unbroken vigilance. You stumble against a fissure in the rock, your shadow snapping apart. The ocean convulses in answer. A surge of water slaps against stone, spraying your face with salt. You reel backward, instinct screaming to flee, but where? Every direction is edge, every edge is ocean. You force yourself upright, scanning desperately for the sun. The haze shifts just enough to reveal its ghost. Pale, distorted, too weak to guide you. Your shadow crawls at odd angles, fragmented. You try to turn, but the blur of shapes at your periphery is faster. Jaws open at the waterline, silent gates unfolding sideways. They do not strike yet. They are waiting for the perfect break, the moment your body gives up its fragile geometry. Your breath quickens. Your head swims. You cannot hold every rule at once. The shadow, the distance, the unity of outline, the ceaseless watching. They collapse under their own weight, impossible to maintain in failing light. The predators know. The ocean tightens its circle. The rules are broken, not by choice but by inevitability. The haze thickens, drowning the sun in its pale skin. Your shadow no longer obeys. It stretches, splits, vanishes, returns in fragments. The geometry that kept you alive dissolves into chaos. The ocean recognizes it instantly. Ripples multiply, converging into overlapping rings. Shapes slide closer beneath the surface, no longer hiding, no longer patient. They circle with precision, each one locking into the blind spots carved by your failing shadow. You spin, but there is no correct angle. Every turn reveals another flank exposed. Every breath grows thinner, harsher, as though the world itself is pressing you down into stillness. The stone beneath you slicks with moisture, your feet sliding, your balance fraying. And then it happens. The first strike. Not a full attack, just a test, a brush of armored flesh against your ankle, a flicker of movement faster than thought. You stagger backward, eyes wide, arms thrown for balance. The shadow shatters across fissured stone. The water erupts. A body surges partway onto the rock. Flat, wide, armored like a shield, undulating in silence. Its side jaws flare open, two gates without hinges, snapping shut inches from your leg. No sound, only the memory of speed. It retreats at once, sliding back into the water, but the message is clear. The gap is open, the defense is gone. Your lungs convulse, desperate for air that isn't enough. You try to realign, but the sun is gone completely now, smothered by haze. The shadow is nowhere. You are bare. The second strike comes from the opposite side. Another ripple surges upward, jaws snapping at the space just behind you. You twist, stumble, fall to your knees. The stone scrapes skin, but there is no time to feel it. Water presses closer on every side, dark shapes circling like blades tightening around a throat. You claw at the ground, dragging yourself backward, but there is nowhere left. The shelf is too small, the ocean swallows the horizon, and the predators are no longer waiting. They rise together, not leaping, not rushing, but flowing upward as though the sea itself is forming jaws. Wide, flat bodies undulate in silence, flanking you, converging from both sides. Each one bears the same terrible symmetry. Mouths hinged at the edges, opening where no defense exists. You turn wildly, seeking one last alignment, one last rule to cling to, but there is nothing. The geometry is broken. The silence presses in, and then, in a blur of motion, the jaws close. Not with noise, not with violence, but with inevitability. The sea folds back over itself. The ripples fade. The stone lies bare again, unmarked, untouched, as though nothing had ever stood upon it. The silence returns, complete. No shadow remains.